Hey, I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about our 2021 week of prayer, fasting, and consecration, and also about our theme that'll go beyond the week of prayer and fasting into a sermon series. Also will be the same theme for our 2021 Every Nation Campus Conferences all over the world, as well as our regional build conferences in every region around the world. Joshua 3:5 says that Joshua told the people, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." And then it goes and it tells us that Joshua told the priest to pick up the Ark of the Covenant and put it before the people. And then this is when they're going and crossing the Jordan into the Promised Land. When I think about consecration, and I think about our week of prayer, fasting, and consecration, a lot of religious people think that praying and fasting and doing good things is somehow fixing our past. We know the gospel. The cross fixes our past. Nothing we do, it's what Christ did. But when we think about the future, this idea in Joshua 3:5, it says that consecrate yourselves because God is about to do something. Our consecration doesn't change what God's going to do, but it gets us in a place to be a part of what God's going to do. So the people in this text, they're coming out of slavery, they're coming through the Red Sea, they're running for their lives, but now they're about to go into the Promised Land. And getting in the middle of the promises, living in the Promised Land, starts with a consecration time. That's why we like to start every year with a week of prayer, fasting, and consecration with tens of thousands of Every Nation people all over the world. In 2021, I'm excited to announce our theme is Awesome God. For our prayer and fasting and consecration week, for our sermon series, for our build conferences, our campus conferences, Awesome God. Why Awesome God? Well, first, because God is awesome. And the root of that idea, God is awesome, the root word is awe. And there's two flip sides, seemingly opposite ideas with the word awe. There's awesome, which we, in our English language, is something really good. And there's awful, which is something really terrifying and bad. And so when we go deep in this idea of awesome God, it's really both. There's the fear of God's side and the love of God's side. And finally, the idea of this theme gives us the opportunity to go deep theologically and deep biblically, that our prayer is, our hope is, that studying this theme for a year and revisiting this theme all year long will help us see not only the greatness of God, but the goodness of God. That we'll be able to hold to both of those in a new way. Here's what we're providing for you. As we've done in the past, we'll provide 7 5-minute devotional videos on the theme of Awesome God, and they'll be preached by Every Nation global leaders from all over the world. Secondly, we'll provide a devotional guide with daily devotional Bible studies. There'll be a print form. It'll be available on the Every Nation app in multiple languages, and also the U version. And I believe the last few years we've had 15 plus different languages all of this has been translated into, and I believe every year we'll continue to add more languages to that. And then also we'll provide a sermon series on Awesome God. We'll provide the graphics and the design for your keynotes and PowerPoints, as well as study notes and outlines. Study notes will focus on inductive Bible study notes and ideas. We're not giving you a sermon, but we'll give you a lot of study material to help you and the pastors in your region develop those sermons. The outcome we're hoping for has to do with upgraded and increased devotion, mission, and worship. And what we're hoping and praying is that as we study our awesome God, it'll impact every individual's personal devotional life. Every person in the pew to the person in the pulpit. Our hope is that it'll enhance and multiply our global mission together. The more we study and seek God, we'll be on mission. And thirdly, I think it'll have a big impact on our public worship. The more we see God and His goodness and His greatness, it changes and helps the way we worship with more passion and more focus. Again, it's not just a week of prayer, fasting, and consecration. There's that. But that theme will also carry through the sermon series, through our Every Nation campus conferences, and our regional build conferences all over the world. Also, one last thing, we are working on a book that'll be about prayer, fasting, and consecration. We don't have the title yet, but we are working through the chapters. And we hope to have that book ready and in your hands, whether it's a digital download or whether it's an actual paper book, by mid-November. And to have that available every year about the same time so people can read it through December and early January to be ready for our week of prayer, fasting, and consecration. I'm looking forward to all God will do in us and through us as once again we start our year praying, fasting, and consecration before God. It's going to be another great year. I'm really honored to work with leaders like you and the leaders in your regions and the campus leaders all over the world. It really is a privilege and an honor to get to do what we get to do and to do it together with one another.